Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to the YouTube channel of PRATHAM Test Prep. Myself Juhi Sharma, and here we are with yet another current affairs session from 21st of March to 24th of March, right? So how are you doing? I know the session has started a little late, थोड़ा सा late हो गया है session, लेकिन again better late than never. Actually, Hema ma'am was caught up with some work here. I'm caught up with some work, and yes, so I have to take it. So yeah, in this particular session, we'll be covering current affairs from the 21st of March to the 24th of March, right? Because I think the last session we have missed because of some technical issues. So in this particular thing, we'll be covering the current affairs of these 4 days. Okay. Good evening, Akshay. Good evening. So I hope all of you are doing well. I could see a lot of you have joined earlier, but I think because we got late, so you guys thought that the session must have got expired or something, but no. We are here and we will be conducting this current affairs session. Yeah, good evening, Asha. So let's start with the very first news, which is the World Water Day is observed on the 22nd of March. Now, this is a news from the which category? This is a news from the important days category, right? Important days की category की news है. Good evening, Ria. That the World Water Day is observed on 22nd of March. Okay. Now, important days की category से a lot of questions comes on date and theme. कहाँ पर आते हैं? From date and theme. They'll ask you date, that when is World Water Day observed? The answer would be 22nd of March. And the second thing that they'll ask is what will be the theme, or what is the theme of World Water Day 2022? So the theme for World Water Day 2022 is groundwater making invisible visible, right? So it is a very, you can say, very interesting theme for World Water Day 2022, making the invisible visible. मतलब जो दिख नहीं रहा है उसको visible करा दो, right? That is the theme. And ये theme किसने set किया था? This theme set, it actually set the focus on what? On the World Water Development Report. कि जो World Water का जो development है उसकी report पर ये basically focus करता है this particular theme. Now this World Water Day, we know that. Can anyone tell me that what percentage of Earth is covered with water? What percentage of Earth is covered with water? If we see our globe, which represents the Earth, the predominant color, the major color we see on our globe is blue, right? And what we see that globe is in blue color, and also what we know that the 3/4 Earth or 71% of Earth is covered with water. But my question to you is that entire water, the entire percentage of water which is available to us, is it potable? Is it good for drinking? Is it fresh water? The answer is no, it is not fresh water. It is not potable. It is not good for drinking, right? That's the reason why, to create awareness regarding the importance of fresh water. Okay, because pani to bahut hai, but what about fresh water? What about water that we need to consume, right? So to understand the importance of it, to create the awareness about the fresh water, World Water Day is observed every year on 22nd of March, right? क्या है इसका theme? The theme is groundwater making the invisible visible, right? Now we know that हमारा जो usable water है, that is only वो थोड़ा सा जो potable water है. Okay, can anyone tell me the percentage of potable water or the usable water? किसी को पता है? It is, I think it is close to 1%, right? जितना भी water available है उसमें से close to 1% is potable water, right? So हमारा groundwater is the largest source of fresh water, which is actually usable water in the world, and the United Nations had observed March 22nd as the World Water Day. कौन से year से? Since 1993, right? So that is the reason why, to create awareness about the fresh water, this World Water Day is observed since 1993, right? Fresh water बोल सकते हो, you can say the potable water, right? You can say anything, okay? So two things important. Quickly tell me, what is the theme of World Water Day? The theme of World Water Day 2022 is making the invisible visible, and on which date this particular thing is observed on the 22nd of March, right? Now, moving further, we have the second news, which is the Kerala set to become first to introduce carbon neutral farming methods. Now, have you guys heard of कि India is planning to reduce its carbon emission by 2030? ये चीज आपने सुनी है? अगर आपने Ishika says, ma'am, it's my first class today. I've missed something. Ishika, these are the YouTube live sessions which we conduct every alternate day. That is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on 7 p.m. So आपको up to date ही रहना पड़ता है. So miss lectures जो आपके हैं वो आप अपना, there's a playlist called current affairs, right? On the Pratham Test Prep YouTube channel. आप वहाँ पे जाके देख सकते हो. You will find all the previous sessions, right? Okay, so next is that Kerala set to become Kerala set to become the first state to introduce carbon neutral farming methods. So guys, have you heard of it? कि हम बहुत जगह हम पढ़ते हैं कि India is going carbon neutral. We are trying to reduce our carbon footprints. हम green energy की तरफ जा रहे हैं, right? Even our railways, we are working towards making green and efficient railways too, right? So what we are doing is we are actually fulfilling the sustainable development goals, right? ये जो sustainable development goals हमारे हैं हम उसको fulfill करने का try कर रहे हैं, जिसमें reducing the carbon emission is one of them, because why हमारा जो environment है वो degrade हो रहा है, there are a lot of things, right? So इसीलिए केरला जो है अपना farming में they are introducing the carbon neutral farming methods, right? Entire state में नहीं हो रहा है. This is actually in some selected locations of the country only. This is the phase 1 thing, right? Phase 1 है ये आपका. Second phase भी उसका होगा जिसमें आपकी और ज़्यादा constituencies और ज़्यादा आपकी locations cover होंगी. But as of now, जो केरला का जो budget पास हुआ है उसमें क्या दिया है? Government ने बोला है, the state government of Kerala said that they will be introducing the carbon neutral farming methods. मतलब वो ऐसे methods use करेंगे जिसमें carbon emission ना होता हो, right? So with this, Kerala has become the first state in the country to do so, right? Now, my question is that will the number कि Kerala की government ने carbon neutral farming method apply करने के लिए कितना budget set करा है? Will this be a question? Will you expect? Do you expect such question in entrances जो आपसे एक particular state के, एक particular category के, एक particular budget के बारे में बात करती है? The answer is no, right? इतना specific आपसे नहीं पूछा जाता. The only question they might ask from this particular news is that name the first state of India to introduce the carbon neutral farming methods, right? That is what that is, Kerala. Now, as I have already told you that it will start in phases. जो first phase होगा उसमें आपके 13 farms जो हैं of the agricultural sector वो cover होंगे. ठीक है. Second phase में आपके और ज़्यादा constituencies add होंगी, so it will obviously start in phases. Now, when we are studying about Kerala ka news, then the question will come that who is the governor of Kerala? Who is the chief minister of Kerala? So the governor of Kerala is Arif Muhammad Khan and the chief minister of Kerala is Pinarayi Vijayan, right? So these two things you need to know. However, जब भी आपका current affairs का session होता है of any state, अगर आप केरला की इसके बाद अगर कोई और भी news देखते हो, if by chance in that particular slide too you will find governor and chief minister, because these are the two posts जिसके बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा आपके questions आ सकते हैं. Because why? Majorly जितनी भी state schemes होती है, कुछ भी होता है, that is either launched by the chief minister or by the governor. Announcement या तो CM करेगा या governor करेगा. Right. So इसीलिए आपको you need to know that who's the governor and the chief minister of certain states, right? Now, moving further to the next news, we have Kuwait became the hottest place on earth. Temperature reaches 53.2 degrees Celsius. Now, ये है आपकी 21st से 24th of March की news, जिसमें आपका Kuwait जो है has reached a scorching temperature of 53.2 degrees Celsius. Now, they will not ask you the temperature in the entrances, but what they'll ask that which place has become the hottest place on earth, right? On earth, the hottest place is Kuwait because the temperature has reached 53.2 degrees Celsius. Now, in the as I would say कि पिछले साल जो हुआ था in Kuwait, what happened was कि इतनी ज्यादा गर्मी थी कि directly from sky the birds were dropping dead, as in sky से birds जो थे वो dead गिर रहे थे because it was too heat up over there, right? It was very hot over there, and now in this particular year the temperature it has reached 53.2 degrees Celsius, which is like very hot, and by this Kuwait became the hottest place on earth. राइट नाउ यू सी कि ये जो क्लाइमेट चेंज है, ये जो आपका एक्सट्रीमिटीज हो रहे हैं, इफ यू हैव नोटिस्ड, सर्दियां भी है वो बहुत ज्यादा पड़ रही हैं, गर्मियां भी है वो बहुत ज्यादा टेम्परेचर के साथ हो रहा है. देयर आर एक्सट्रीमिटीज, राइट? एक्सट्रीमिटी ऑफ द टेम्परेचर हो रहा है. दैट इज नॉट ओनली हैपनिंग इन जस्ट वन कंट्री और एट अ वन पर्टिकुलर एरिया. ऐसा नहीं है कि ट्रॉपिकल एरिया में ही है, right? No, it is happening all over the world. Why? Because environment is getting degraded, left, right, center, climate change हो रहा है, बहुत सारी चीजें हो रही हैं, and Kuwait का जो था बन चुका है the hottest place on earth with the temperature of 53.2 degrees Celsius, and इसकी वजह से the heat is getting unbearable, right? Also, ये जो इतना ज़्यादा heat है, what do you think that it is only harmful for the birds? No, not only for birds, it is actually very harmful for human beings too, because heat related deaths जो होती है, you must have heard of heat strokes, right? So एक study जो हुआ था उसमें बताया गया था that Kuwait city में 67% of the deaths जो है वो heat related deaths है in the capital, right? Capital of Kuwait, as in the Kuwait city is the capital of Kuwait, right? वहाँ पर because of climatic changes 67% of the death which took place was what? Was related to heat, right? So वो इतना ज़्यादा hot हो चुका है, not only for animals, birds, but for human beings too, right? Again, as we have talked about Kuwait, we need to know that who is the Prime Minister of Kuwait. The Prime Minister is Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid Al Saha, right? Is the Prime Minister of Kuwait. And अगर आपसे capital की बात होती है, which I've already told you, is what? Is Kuwait city, right? And Kuwait, it became the hottest place on earth. Okay. Now, moving further, we have the next news, which is Indian economist Jayati Ghosh appointed as UN's advisory board member, right? So, the United Nations के जो Secretary General हैं, can anyone tell me who's the Secretary General of the United Nations? यूएन के सेक्रेटरी जनरल कौन है? आप ये तो यूएन के बारे में तो आप एक ऐसी न्यूज है जो आई थिंक एवरी अदर डे आप यूएन के बारे में कुछ ना कुछ तो सुनते ही हो. जैसे अभी हमने वर्ल्ड वाटर डे के बारे में पढ़ा, उसमें भी यूएन का जिक्र आया कि यूएन ने 1993 में स्टार्ट किया था, राइट? सो इट इज एंटोनियो गुटेरेस. वेरी गुड आशा, इट इज एंटोनियो. तो उन्होंने अनाउंस किया था कि भाई एक यूनाइटेड नेशंस की एक एडवाइजरी बोर्ड जो है, राइट, वो आपका स्टैब्लिश होगा, एंड उसमें जो एक मेंबर होंगी जयति घोष को एज अ मेंबर अपॉइंट किया गया है. एंड नाउ व्हाई दिस न्यूज इज इंपॉर्टेंट? बिकॉज जयति घोष इज एन इंडियन इकोनॉमिस्ट. सो यू नीड टू नो कि अगर किसी भी इंडियन को किसी भी यूनाइटेड नेशन का, IMF का, वर्ल्ड बैंक का, राइट, किसी भी ऐसे मेजर इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या बॉडी का कोई मेंबर अपॉइंट किया जाता है, दैट न्यूज इन इटसेल्फ बिकम्स इंपॉर्टेंट. Few years back, a couple of years back, Geeta Gopinath was appointed, and उस साल you would not believe majority of the entrances had a question on that particular news. Geeta Gopinath के ऊपर एक नया question जरूर था, right? So again, this news becomes important because Antonio Guterres, जो कि है आपके Secretary General of the United Nations, he has announced the appointment of what? The appointment of Jayati Ghosh as one of the member of the advisory board, right? Now, ये जो है इस board में how many members are there? It is an advisory board which consists of 12 members, and उसमें बहुत सारे अलग-अलग members हैं, which actually जो आपका चेयर करेंगे, who will be the chairperson is former Liberian president and Nobel laureate Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and former Swedish Prime Minister Stephen Löfven. Now, of course, अगर कोई board बना है, अगर कोई advisory board बना है, there has to be a chairman of it and there has to be X number of members to it. तो उनके जो chairman है, उनका नाम यहाँ पे Liberian president and Nobel laureate Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and जो पहले के जो Swedish Prime Minister है Stephen Löfven. So these are the chairmen. This board will be chaired by these particular people, right? Now, you will be surprised to know that जो जयति घोष जी जो हैं, जो वो एक ऐसी member हैं United Nations की advisory board की, right? She has become the member. You will be surprised to know that उनका जो initial college हुआ है, right? स्कूल के बाद जो initial studies में है, college जो हुआ है, वो कहाँ पे हुआ है? उनका वो she was a professor of economics, chairperson वो रही हैं, JNU से वो related रही हैं, right? And even she was the professor in the University of Massachusetts too. So yes, she was an economics professor. Hence, Indian economics जो appoint हुई हैं जयति घोष, वो हैं as the US advisory board की member, right? So interesting चीज मैंने आपको क्या बोली थी, because she is related to JNU and JNU काफी ही news में रहता है. So yes. And it is one of the top, I would say, one of the top educational institutes we have. So again, Jayati Ghosh, member of United Nations Advisory Board, and uske chairman kaun hai? The names are right in front of you: Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Stephen Löfven. So this is the news for you. Moving further, we have World Air Quality Report. Now, ये भी एक index है, ये भी एक report है जो release हुई है, which actually shows you the most populated cities of the world, right? कि पूरे world का most populated cities कौन कौन से हैं. Now, whenever you are studying about any report, you need to know about that particular report is released by whom, वो रिपोर्ट रिलीज किसने करी है, वो आपको जानना है. एंड उसके बाद यू नीड टू नो दैट इंडिया के जो कौन कौन से सिटीज हैं या इंडिया की रैंक क्या है, इफ इट इज अ कंट्री वाला रिपोर्ट, राइट? सो ये जो वर्ल्ड एयर क्वालिटी रिपोर्ट है, इट हैज बीन रिलीज्ड बाय IQAir, राइट? ये एक स्विस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, IQAir. उन्होंने ये आपका रिलीज करा है वर्ल्ड एयर क्वालिटी रिपोर्ट. एंड उस रिपोर्ट में वर्ल्ड का मोस्ट polluted capital city is New Delhi. New Delhi बना है वर्ल्ड का most polluted capital city. अभी न्यू दिल्ली बना है तो क्या है, एयर क्वालिटी रिपोर्ट में अपने सबसे ऊपर क्या हो गया, इंडिया का रैंक इज एट द टॉप. और ऐसा नहीं है कि वो इसी साल आया है, दिस इज फॉर द सेकंड कंसेक्यूटिव ईयर कि न्यू दिल्ली जो है वो आपका रैंक हुआ है एज द मोस्ट पॉपुलेटेड कैपिटल सिटी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. ओके, उसके बाद आपका ढाका है और बांग्लादेश. Then we have countries like Chad, Tajikistan, Oman. ये सारे जो हैं वो आपके हैं top 5 populated cities of the world, populated capital cities of the world, right? बांग्लादेश का अगर आपको बोला जाता है most populated country, right? बांग्लादेश was the most populated country, followed by Chad, Pakistan, Tajikistan. ये आपके हैं in terms of countries, but इससे आप question expect करोगे from the cities point of view only. Now ये जो आपका वर्ल्ड एयर क्वालिटी रिपोर्ट है, राइट? ये एक्चुअली व्हाट आर द पैरामीटर्स ऑफ इट? तो बेसिकली आपका जो WHO है, दैट इज द वर्ल्ड हेल्थ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ये आपके कुछ पैरामीटर्स निकालता है, कुछ गाइडलाइंस निकालता है, राइट? जिनके बेसिस पर आपका पोल्यूशन इन एनी सिटी इन एनी कंट्री इज मेजर्ड, राइट? सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द गाइडलाइंस ऑफ द एयर क्वालिटी रिलीज्ड बाय WHO, इंडिया की कोई भी सिटी उन गाइडलाइंस को कंप्लीटली फॉलो नहीं करता है, बिकॉज ऑल ये जो हमारी जो इंडिया की जो सिटी है, दीज आर पॉल्यूटेड, राइट? सो अगर आपसे पूछा जाएगा द मोस्ट पॉल्यूटेड सिटी इन इंडिया, इन दैट केस इट विल बी भिवाड़ी, who is the most polluted city in India, followed by Ghaziabad, Delhi and Jaunpur. अगर कैपिटल सिटी पूछा जाएगा of the world, most populated, most polluted capital city of the world, in that case it will be New Delhi. लेकिन अगर most polluted city in India पूछा जाएगा, in that case it will be Bhiwadi, followed by Ghaziabad, Delhi and Jaunpur, right? So India is the 5th most polluted country. Why? Because 63 Indian cities जो हैं वो 100 most polluted list में हैं आफ्टर 163 कंट्रीज 63 सिटीज जो है वो इंडियन सिटीज है एंड यू विल बी सरप्राइज कि इन 63 सिटीज में आधे से ज्यादा either are the Haryana cities or the Uttar Pradesh cities, right? So that is what that is about the World Air Quality Report 2021, which got released recently, and it was released by Swiss organization IQ-Air, right? Now, moving further, we have next news, which is GRI became the youngest and fastest female swimmer to cross the Park Strait. Now, what is a Park Strait? Park Strait is something which connects India and Sri Lanka, right? Park Strait connects what? Park Strait connects India and Sri Lanka. तो GRI जो है वो बनी है the youngest and the fastest female swimmer to actually swim across that strait. Now, swim करके जाना आप बोल सकते हो कि मैम okay, what is so new about it? Not new, the interesting thing is, or the thing which took everybody by surprise was the GRI hai. She is a child with autism spectrum disorder, right? And with that particular disorder, उन्होंने वो autism की autism का disorder है उनका, and with that particular disorder, उन्होंने 13 years की age में, right, became the youngest and the fastest female swimmer in the world to actually swim through the Park Strait, right? अभी जो Park Strait क्या है, इसका distance is 29 kilometers, और ये जो उन्होंने complete किया है, she has completed it in 13 hours and 10 minutes, right? उससे पहले जो ये record था, this record was earlier held by Bula Chaudhary, right? उन्होंने 13 hours and 52 minutes में ये cover किया था, but GRI जो है उन्होंने अभी recently ये किया है cover 29 kilometers का distance between India and Sri Lanka का जो Park Strait है, right? 29 kilometers का ये जो distance है, she covered it in 13 hours and how many minutes? 10 minutes, right? So that is GRI for you, the youngest and the fastest female swimmer to cross the Park Strait. Next news we have Cristiano Ronaldo became all-time leading scorer record on 807 goals. Now, अगर question पूछा जाता है कि who is the all-time top goal scorer, in that case it is Cristiano Ronaldo. It is CR7, ये वो है, right? And ये क्या है? He attained this goal by scoring a hat-trick in Manchester United 3-2 win की थी, 3-2 win का ये था, and ये जो था with this he became the leading scorer record on 807 goals. Now आपसे ये goals नहीं पूछ सकते हैं, but of course they can ask you that who has become the all-time leading scorer, right? You need to know that it is Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So that is for you guys. Now moving further, we have the last news for the day, that is autobiography of former cricketer G.R. Vishnath titled Wrist Assured, and autobiography got released. Now ये है आपके इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम के फॉर्मर कैप्टन जिनका नाम है गुंडप्पा रंगनाथ विश्वनाथ, राइट? उन्होंने अपनी ऑटोबायोग्राफी लिखी है जिसका नाम है Wrist Assured and Autobiography. Now recently in the year 2021 I would say एक और क्रिकेटर ने अपनी ऑटोबायोग्राफी लिखी थी, right? With, of course, he co-authored with someone. Can anyone tell me which cricketer was that? He's still relevant. He's not a former cricketer. पहले के नहीं है. He's still very very relevant. मैं आपको एक hint दे देती हूँ कि वो unsold रह गए in this year IPL. So his autobiography was Believe What Cricket Taught Me, right? वो उनकी थी जो उन्होंने लिखी थी, co-author करी थी, of course, with someone. So likewise आप ऐसे याद रख सकते हो, cricketers जितनी भी अपनी biography, autobiography करवाते हैं, तो आप उनका एक list बना सकते हो for that matter, so that you don't get confused. So Wrist Assured हाँ जी बेटा सुरेश रैना, विधि बेटा just DM me on Telegram. I think you are a Pratham student only. Right, just DM me on Telegram. Definitely, I'll tell you what you can do for CUCET. Right. So Moving back to this particular news, that autobiography of former cricketer G.R. Vishnath, that is Gundappa Ranganath Vishnath ने उन्होंने अपनी autobiography लिखी है जिसका नाम है Risk Assured and Autobiography, right? And co-author किसने किया है? It has been co-authored by senior journalist R. Kaushik, right? नाउ ये जो ऑटोबायोग्राफी है, ये जो बुक है, इसमें बहुत सारे इंडियन क्रिकेटर्स की बात हुई है, कपिल देव की बात हुई है, सुनील गावस्कर की बात हुई है, राइट, इन सारे लोगों की बात हुई है। और उसके साथ साथ ये जो इंडियन क्रिकेटर्स हैं, कपिल देव एंड सुनील गावस्कर, इन लोगों ने ये बुक भी रिलीज किया था इन कर्नाटका बेंगलुरु में। एंड कपिल देव से रिलेटेड मूवी जो भी रिसेंटली आई थी, द मूवी which released recently, जो कपिल देव पर बेस्ड थी, 83, राइट? सो आप ऐसे भी याद कर सकते हो। सो जस्ट कनेक्ट द डॉट्स, अंडरस्टैंड एंड देन ट्राई टू लर्न द things, right? And yes, this was the last news. Yes, you all guys are correct. This was the last news for the day. Thank you so much, guys, for staying tuned. We shall be meeting super soon in our next session. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I apologize for starting late. There was some technical glitch. But yeah, thank you so much. Subscribe to Pratham Test Prep's channel if you haven't done already. And take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.